Dibarra, the released deceiver and seizer of the soul. The name Dibarra is related to leading people astray with lies and deceit. The creature Anzu was the original lion-faced demon, Anzu the divine storm bird, a god of fire and water, the gatekeeper to the underworld, and Dibarra was probably a variant of Nergal, in his guise as a solar destroyer, very similar to the Fenris wolf in Ragnarok. In fact, this account is parallel to Ragnarok, the darkness of the gods. Dibarra, the plague god. From gods, once demons. Concerning Dibarra, a strange myth is recounted as follows. The sons of Babylon were as birds, and thou their falconer. In a net thou didst catch them, enclose them, and destroy them, O warrior Dibarra. Leaving the city, thou didst pass to the outside, taking on the form of a lion. Thou didst enter the palace. The people saw thee and drew their weapons. So spoke Ishum, Ish, the mountain pit, a wise, skilled teacher, cognate with Zu, Ishum, the wisdom of the pit, the wise one of the pit, or the wisdom from the mountain pit. So spoke Ishum, the faithful attendant of Dibarra. Remember, Dibarra can also mean an unfaithful, treacherous man, a liar, used to trouble and deceive. One could say a Judas. Ishum spoke by way of beginning an account of the havoc wrought in the valley of Euphrates by the war and plague god. It's almost as if Dibarra has been invoked all around us, hasn't it? And here Dibarra is used as a type of vaccine. Ishum said, "Spare no one," in his commands to his satellites. Have neither fear nor pity, kill the young as well as the old, and rob Babylon of all its treasures. I believe the Assyrians are the old Babylonian nobility, who were exiled for publicly worshipping demons, gods once demons. In Babylon, Dibarra was a demon, and in Assyria he was made into a god, hence gods once demons. Accordingly, against the first city, a large army was dispatched to carry out these instructions, and the battle with bow and sword begun. A strife which ended so disastrously for the soldiers and inhabitants that their blood flowed like torrents of water through the city's highways. This defeat the great lord Merodach was compelled to witness, powerless to help or avert it. Merodach meaning death and slaughter. He is the watcher. I ask, why would he help, when it doubles as veneration as the offerings to him? Marduk, who replaced Pazuzu, the lion, the winged lion and king of the gods, once demons. enraged by his helplessness and overcome with fury, he cursed his enemies, until he is said to have lost consciousness because of his grief. From this scene of devastation, Dibarra turned his attention to Uruk, appointing others of his host to mete out to this city the fate of Babylon. Within his host means the gods contained within him. I wonder how many variations of Anzu there are. According to the wording here, Merodach, Dibarra, and Ishum are all related to the same concept, to the gods within the pit. Ishtar, the pit of destruction, the goddess of Uruk, saw her devoted city exposed to plunder, pillage, and bloodshed, and had to endure the agony of inactivity experienced by Merodach. Nothing she could do or say would stop the violence of Dibarra's vengeance, which would imply that the Ishipu were refusing to invoke Merodach and Ishtar. O warrior Dibarra, thou dost dispatch the just, thou dost dispatch the unjust, who sins against thee, thou dost dispatch, and the one who does not sin against thee, thou dost dispatch. There's no discrimination here, is there? These words were used by Ishum, the wise teacher of the pit. Ishum, the Akkadian god of fire. Its breath is fire, its roar is a flood, and its breath is death. These words were used by Ishum, Dibarra's servant. In a subsequent address to the god of war, he knew his lord's craving for battle and bloodshed was still unappeased, and he himself was planning a war more terrible than any he had yet conducted. A conflict not only worldwide, but which was to embrace heaven itself. So in order to gain Dibarra's consent to the hideous destruction he anticipated, he continued to pander to his warlike tendencies. Ishum said, "The brightness of Shul Pandu I will destroy. The root of the tree I will tear out, so that it will no longer blossom. Against the dwelling of the king of the gods I will proceed." To all of which the warrior god Dibarra listened, because Ishum is the teacher undeniably. Dibarra listened with growing pleasure until he fired a myriad of words. He cried out in a sudden, fierce resolve. Ragnarok. Seacoast against seacoast. Subatu against Subatu. Assyrian against Assyrian. Elamite against Elamite. Kassite against Kassite. Sutaian against Sutaian. Kuthian against Kuthian. Lullabite against Lullabite. Lulu, Lulu, Lulu. Country against country. House against house. Man against man. Brother is to show no mercy towards brother. They shall kill one another. At the end of the video, I will display the fierce cry of Dibarra while I read out Ragnarok, so I can show you how similar they are. Go, Ishum, Dibarra added later. Carry out the word thou hast spoken, in accordance with thy desire. Desire ash, the dust, the red clay, the wolf curse. Ishum immediately obeyed, directing his countenance to the mountain of Kiki. This with the help of the god Shibi, a warrior unequaled. He attacked and destroyed all the vineyards in the forest of Kashur, and finally the city of Inmarmaon. These last atrocious acts, roused by Ea, the god of humanity, allegedly of course, and filled them with wrath. Ea, the good god, allegedly of course. Though what attitude he adopted towards Dibarra is not known. His mouth is fire, his roar is a flood, his breath is death, a different kind of trinity. Dibarra continued, "Listen to all of my words. Because of sin, Lord Zu, did I formerly plan evil. My heart was enraged, and I swept people away." This was Dibarra's defense when he was eventually appeased, and all the gods were gathered together in council with him. Ishum, at this point, changing his tactics, urged on Dibarra the necessity for pacifying the gods he had incensed, which is very similar to Merodach, being the host of the gods. "Appease," he said, "the gods of the land who are angry. May fruits and corn flourish. May mountains and seas bring their produce." As he had listened to Ishum before, Dibarra listened again. The council of the gods was closed by his promising prosperity and protection to those who would fittingly honor him. "He who glorifies my name will rule the world. Who proclaims the glory of my power will be without rival. The singer who sings my deeds will not die through pestilence. To kings and nobles his words will be pleasing. The writer who preserves them will escape from the grasp of the enemy. In the temple where the people proclaim my name, I will open his ear to the wisdom of understanding. In the house where the tablet is set up, through war may rage, and the god Saibi work havoc." That is possibly the Sabiti 7 personifications of poison and disease. Sword and pestilence will not touch him. This is probably AI. He will dwell in safety. Yeah. Let this song resound forever and endure for eternity. Let all lands hear it and proclaim my power. Let the inhabitants of all places glorify my name. Dibarra, the Caesar of the soul. According to Professor Anderson's etymology of the word Ragnarok, it means darkness of the gods, from rain, gods, and rocker, darkness. But it may more properly be derived from the Icelandic, Danish, and Swedish, regn, a rain, and rock, smoke, or dust, and it may mean the rain of dust, for the clay came first as dust, and it is described in some Indian legends as ashes, from which the gods were created in the form of man. This is said to be a tradition from the Druids, the story of an age of crime. There saw she wade in heavy streams, men foul murderers and perjurers, and them whose others' wives seduce to sin. Brothers slay brothers, sisters, children shed each other's blood. Hard is the world. Sensual sin grows huge. There are sword ages, axe ages, shields are cleft in twain. Storm ages, murder ages, till the world falls dead, and men no longer spare or pity one another. The world has ripened for destruction, and Ragnarok, the darkness of the gods, and the rain of dust and ashes, comes to complete the work.